Hi, this is Break Recap. Now, I am going to explain the film, Phone, a South Korean supernatural horror film released in 2002. Engage and enjoy. The film's main character is a journalist named Ji-won. After writing a series of articles about a pedophilia scandal, she often receives threatening calls and emails. She also feels like somebody is stalking her. Ji-won has a best friend, Ho-jung. Ho-jung is married to Chang-hoon and they have a child named Youngju. Aware of the threats, they offered their newly bought house in Bangbae for Ji-won to stay since it is empty. Ji-won agreed and moved immediately. Ho-jung suggested to Ji-won that she stay in her room because it's the most comfortable. Ji-won refuses because that room is too big for her and it would be uncomfortable to stay in the couple's bedroom. Ji-won chose the other room at the end of the hall. That night she still receives threatening emails and calls and decides to change her phone number the next day. While getting a new number, a weird thing occurred wherein only one number was recommended by the system. Ji-won didn't have a choice but to get that number. One day, while appreciating art in a gallery, somebody calls Ji-won's new cell phone number. She ignores it. Ho-jung's daughter, Youngju, is sitting on a bench beside her aunt Ji-won's bag. The phone rings again and she answers the call. She ended up crying and screaming. Ji-won takes the phone and listens to the caller, but she only hears a bone-chilling sound. Later at the house, Ji-won talks to Ho-jung, telling her that whatever Youngju heard on the phone might have scared her and it didn't sound like the stalker, it sounded weird. Ji-won dreams of a girl crying in a room and she wakes up screaming. She then receives another strange call. Meanwhile, in Youngju's room that night, she hears strange noises. She shouts at someone telling it to stop because it hurts her ear. The next day, Ho-jung and Ji-won bring Youngju to the doctor for a checkup. The doctor tells them that nothing is wrong, Youngju is fine. Ji-won meets up with her friend in a bar where they talk about the strange calls she is still receiving even after she already changed her phone number. Her friend says it could be that the phone company has messed up, or the stalker knows she changed her number. He then hands her a taser as a present. As Ji-won is driving in the rain, she gets another strange call. She wants to hear the caller and asks to speak clearly, but she just hears another weird noise like someone is shouting. She then sets her eyes on the sidewalk where she sees a young woman who is wet because of the rain. She offers her a ride. On the way to the young woman's place, Ji-won abruptly stops driving as she sees a girl standing in the middle of the road. Ji-won immediately steps out of the car and checks on the girl, but nobody was there. She goes back to the car, but the young woman who was with her is also gone. Back at the house, Ji-won wants to wash up and opens the faucet, but there is no water. She sees hair coming out instead. Then something strange happened. As she looks in the mirror, everything shakes. And as the light flickers on and off, she sees another face in the mirror. In Ho-jung's house, Ho-jung tucks in Youngju and turns on the baby monitor. Later, she and Chang-hoon are about to make love when Ho-jung hears a bothersome noise coming from the baby monitor. Then she sees a shadow of a young woman near their bed. This vision was cut short when Youngju suddenly appears in the room and hugs her dad as she is scared. Ji-won, Hongju, and Youngju are in the park. While Youngju is playing, the best friends are talking. Hongju is bothered about what Youngju heard on the call. She asks Ji-won to change her phone number again. Back at home, Ji-won bathes Youngju. The little girl suddenly talks about being in love. Ji-won asks Youngju who she's in love with. Youngju's answer is odd as she says it's her dad that she loves. Ji-won piggybacks Youngju to sleep. She asks Youngju if she loves her mom, too. Youngju does not answer and instead, she tells her something. She tells her if the woman calls again, Ji-won should tell that woman not to scream because it scares her. Ji-won looks in the mirror and she was horrified to see that what's on her back is not Youngju but a black figure. She looks again and sees that everything is normal. It's just Youngju. The next day, she talks to her detective friend who investigated the phone call they received at the art gallery. The detective says there is no record of a call that happened at that time, but he found the list of the people who previously owned the number. Interestingly, the owners before her are already dead. One in a car wreck and the other, a heart attack. Back in Ho-jung's house, Ho-jung and Youngju are eating when flowers are delivered. It was from Chang-hoon. Youngju read the card that came with it. She looked mad after reading it. She goes to the living room where she sees the couple's picture frame. She holds it angrily. Hongju comes and asks what's wrong. Youngju throws the frame on the floor. Then she smashed the other picture frames and decor before running away. Ji-won investigates the car accident of the previous owner of her number. She was informed that the man also received weird calls where he heard just bone-chilling sounds. Hongju and Chang-hoon bring Youngju for a checkup. It is confirmed by the doctor that Youngju has a disturbing attraction for her father. In addition to this, she also has a feeling of jealousy and rejection towards her mother. Ji-won continues to investigate the previous owners of her phone number. She goes to the building where the other victim died of a heart attack. She rides the same elevator and feels weird inside it. Through the looking glass, she sees a black figure lurking outside. When she steps out of the elevator, it continues to go up with a woman inside. Back at the Bang Bae house, Ji-won sees a long-haired ghost playing Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata on the piano. Meanwhile, at Hongju's house, Youngju continues to act and talk strangely. Hongju also sees a ghostly figure of a woman. One morning, when Chang-hoon was about to leave for work, he kissed Youngju on the cheeks. In return, Youngju grabs him and kisses him torridly on the lips, then slaps him after. She hurt herself by scratching her face. She then moves on to hurt Hongju by grabbing her hair. Ji-won continues to investigate. She goes to the house of the original owner of the cell phone number named Jin-hee. She meets with Jin-hee's mother. She was informed by the mother that Jin-hee kept 2 phone numbers with the same last digits. When Jin-hee went missing, she cancelled the other one. She kept Jin-hee's original phone number, hoping she is still alive. Ji-won finds a diary and a picture of Jin-hee with her best friend, Sang-mi. After this, Ji-won also goes to Jin-hee's school to know more about her. She talks to one of Jin-hee's schoolmates. She finds out that the school seems to be haunted by Jin-hee's ghost too. They could hear the piano being played, but when a teacher came to check who it was, nobody was there. Ji-won utters a guess that it was the Moonlight Sonata being played. This surprises the student as it was. She asks Ji-won how she knows. She also tells Ji-won that it was the piece Jin-hee kept on practicing before she went missing. Ji-won meets with Ho-jung and Chang-hoon to discuss the strange happenings which started when she got her new number. She tells them that Youngju could be in danger. She thinks that the phone number she got previously belongs to Jin-hee's boyfriend. Jin-hee is angry at that guy. She suspects that the guy has something to do with Jin-hee's disappearance or death. Chang-hoon thinks that Ji-won's suspicions don't make sense. Especially the part where Jin-hee's spirit is in Youngju. He has decided to bring Youngju to a good child psychologist for treatment. He got mad and told Ji-won to stay out of their business. Chang-hoon's dismissal upsets Ji-won. It is revealed in Ji-won's flashback that Ho-jung had been infertile. Ji-won donated her eggs for her best friend to conceive Youngju. In this sense, Youngju is Ji-won's biological daughter, whom she loves and cares deeply for. Ji-won goes to Sang-mi, who is now blind and deaf. Since Sang-mi was haunted by Jin-hee's spirit, she decided to stab her own eyes and ears to have a peaceful life. Because now, she can no longer see or hear Jin-hee, she says that before she went missing, Jin-hee was obsessively in love with an older man. She kept the man a secret, but she liked him very much. The man liked Moonlight Sonata, so Jin-hee asked Sang-mi to teach her how to play it on the piano. She tried very hard to practice just to impress the man. But one day, the man started avoiding Jin-hee's calls. It seemed like they broke up even though Jin-hee was pregnant with his child. In her flashback, Sang-mi found a pregnancy test attached to Jin-hee's diary. Sang-mi warns Ji-won not to answer Jin-hee's calls so she won't end up like the other previous owners who are now dead. Ji-won reads Jin-hee's diary. In surprise and shock, she learns that Jin-hee's lover was Chang-hoon. He used to cheat on his wife by bringing Jin-hee to the house in Bang Bae. But soon after Jin-hee became overly attached, Chang-hoon broke it off despite her pleas, as he never wanted to leave his family. Jin-hee found out she was pregnant and called Chang-hoon repeatedly, but he ignored her. Believing that Chang-hoon had something to do with Jin-hee's disappearance, more likely death, Ji-won threatens to tell his wife if he does not cooperate. That night, Ji-won receives a call from Ho-jung telling her that Youngju is missing. Youngju, who is still possessed by Jinhee's ghost, went to the house in Bang Bae. She plays the Moonlight Sonata on the piano. Ji-won can't take it anymore and asks the ghost what she wants. She also asks her why she possesses Youngju when it's Chang-hoon who did her wrong. Jinhee didn't answer. She goes upstairs. Ho-jung arrives. Ji-won comes out to open the gate for her. As they are about to enter the house, the door closes before them. Youngju, who's still possessed by Jinhee, is at the top of the stairs. She jumps down. Youngju's body is bleeding while Jinhee's ghost inside her mockingly smiles at Ji-won and Hungju. After they brought Youngju to the hospital, Ji-won went home. There, she sees her laptop that keeps on showing the last 4 digits of Jinhee's phone number on the screen. She then receives another call from the angry Jinhee. She frantically unplugs the laptop wire, but the plug board comes off. She drags the wire out of the wall and to her astonishment, she sees Jinhee's dead body hidden inside the walls. She turns around and is shocked to see Chang-hoon there with her. Chang-hoon sees the dead body and leaves. She follows him and sees his body knocked on the hallway floor. She bends down to check on him, but she feels a presence behind her. She looks, only to be tasered by her best friend Ho-jung. Ho-jung confesses that she discovered the affair years ago and confronted Jinhee. In her denial, Jinhee fooled herself that Chang-hoon truly loved her. She mocked Ho-jung's infertility. Ho-jung told Jinhee to abort. Jinhee got mad, which resulted in a fight. By accident, Ho-jung pushed Jinhee down the stairs and killed her. Ho-jung hid Jinhee's body inside the wall and plastered cement over it. With no regret, Ho-jung claims that aside from being jealous of Jinhee, she is also jealous of Ji-won, who secretly shares with her the motherhood of her daughter. Ho-jung then stages a suicide for Chang-hoon, who is already dead. She wants to make it look like he is guilty of both Jinhee and Ji-won's deaths before killing himself in the bathtub. Ho-jung plans to burn the house down. However, Jinhee's dead body awakens. In revenge, she strangles Ho-jung to death, thus saving Ji-won. The film ends with Ji-won dropping the cursed cell phone into the ocean. After it enters the water, it rings. This film was written and directed by On Byung-ki, starring Ha Ji-won and Kim Yo-mi. That's it for now. Thanks for watching Break Recap. You deserve a break, you deserve a recap. I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe for more.